We're going to look at standard form again. In the previous lesson, we learned how to transform a linear equation written in standard form to slope-intercept form in order to graph the line. Today, we will learn how to graph a linear equation written in standard form by using the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Note A and B not both equal to 0. Remember, our standard form was ax plus by equals c. Let's take a look at our first example. Example 1, finding x and y-intercepts. Find the x and y-intercepts of the equation 2x minus 6y equals 8. Again, that's in standard form. And then it tells us to remember that the x-intercept is the point at which y equals 0. If we sketched a little graph here, and we had a line like this perhaps, our x-intercept is where it touches the x-axis right here. And of course, at this point, it doesn't go up or down. So yes, the y-coordinate would be 0. We're looking for that x number, whether it be over here positive or over on this side of the x-axis negative. So you can see here's our equation again to start with. And in place of y here, we're letting it equal 0. And of course, 6 times 0, or negative 6 times 0, anything times 0 is 0. This goes away, and we're left with just 2x over here, and 8 on the other side. Then we're going to go ahead and divide by 2 both sides. And so x equals 8 divided by 2, or 4. So the x-intercept was 4, or the point 4, and again, y was 0, 4 is 0. So it is over here on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Then we go find the y-intercept now. For the y-intercept is when x equals 0. Of course, anytime it touches the y-axis here, the x number, we don't go left or right, and if we're staying on the y-axis, so x is 0. So here's our starting equation, 2x minus 6y equals 8. And we let x equal 0 this time. So in place of x, we put a 0. Of course, 2 times 0, this goes away. And we're left with just minus 6y equals 8. So then we're going to divide by negative 6 to get y by itself. And we can see y equals 8 divided by negative 6. And of course, if you divide that out with your calculator and then math fraction it, you'll get the reduced version, negative 4/3. Which, you take a look at your decimal number you got out of the calculator, negative 1.33333. And they didn't graph these real good, but this one's pretty good. The y-intercept, again, is when x is 0, and the y number we just got out, negative 4/3. Or the decimal value, negative 1.33, helps us graph it. We know there's negative 1. It's somewhere in between negative 1 and negative 2. It's a little less than halfway. They got it a little bit low there, but that's okay. And then, of course, going back to our x-intercept, should be right here on the line at negative 4. They missed it a little bit there in this drawing. All right, so there's the first one, finding the x and y-intercepts. The x-intercept, we let y equal 0, put it in the equation. And for the y-intercept, we let x equal 0 and solve for y. Let's do a few more examples together, and then we'll let you go here on your own. Let's try it A. Here we go. We've got 6x minus 4y equals negative 10. So I'll solve for the x-intercept first. So for the x-intercept, we let the other thing, let y equal 0. So this y right here in the equation is going to be 0. And we end up with 6x minus 4 times y, which is 0 right now, equals negative 10. So basically this goes away. We're left with 6x equals negative 10. Finish solving for x, we're going to divide by 6 to get rid of that coefficient of 6. And we end up, after we put in negative 10 divided by 6 in our calculator math fraction, it reduces it down to negative 5/3. So our x-intercept is negative 5/3. Of course, the y is 0 there. Then we solve for the y-intercept. We got the other thing, x equals 0. So you can see in the equation we had 6 times x, or this time 6 times 0, because we put in 0 in place of x into this equation. And of course, 6 times 0, this goes away. That just equals 0. And we end up with minus 4y equals negative 10. And now to finish solving this, we're going to divide by negative 4. This is one of my favorite ways to graph lines. Divide both sides by negative 4. Divide that with your calculator and math fraction. It should reduce to positive 5 over 2, positive 5 halves. So there's our x-intercept, negative 5/3, and our y-intercept, 5 over 2. Our next example, 7x plus 3y equals negative 15. Remember, feel free to pause the video whenever you need to catch up on the notes. You can even pause it and start trying to do this one or any of the other ones before I do it, and check your answers that way would be good. I'm sure you're getting the hang of this by now. So again, finding the x and y intercepts, we start off with 7x plus 3y equals negative 15. I'm going to solve for the x-intercept first. So for the x, I let the other thing, y equals 0. So I'm going to substitute a 0 in here in place of y, and it'll look like this. Instead of 7x plus 3y, we have 7x plus 3 times 0, because y is going to be 0. Then 0 times anything is 0. This just goes away. And we end up with 7x equals negative 15. And then the last step for solving this is divide by that coefficient of x, divide by 7. And we are getting some ugly little fractions. Of course, this will not reduce. If you divide it with your calculator and math fraction, you'll end up with the negative 15 over 7. There's our x-intercept. And that's about negative 2 point something, in between negative 2 and negative 3 on the x-axis. Now for the y-intercept, we let x equals 0. So in place of the x, we've put a 0 here. Instead of 7x, we got 7 times 0. That's 0, so I'm just going to cross it out here. And I'm left with a positive 3y equals negative 15. Then we're going to divide by 3, get y by itself. And this comes out to a nice neat negative 5. So the y-intercept's at negative 5. Couple more examples, and then I'm going to be done here and let you do the rest. Try it C equation is negative 2x plus y equals 8. We'll start with the x-intercept, so we'll let y equals 0. We'll substitute 0 in for this y. There's nothing times it. So we end up getting negative 2x just plus 0 instead of plus y equals 8, which is just negative 2x equals 8. Then we'll go ahead and divide by negative 2 and get x equals negative 4. The x-intercept is at negative 4. In the next problem, we'll go ahead and graph these x-intercepts. Right now, we're just solving for them. And y-intercepts. So the y-intercept this time, we'll let x equals 0. So we'll put a 0 in here for x. And we get negative 2 times 0 instead of x. Plus y equals 8. So of course, this goes away. This is just 0. And we get a positive y, or y equals 8. It's already done. Since it didn't have a coefficient, we didn't have to divide by it, or the coefficient is 1. You make sure that's not a minus sign in there, and not a negative 1. So we're done. The y-intercept is 8, and the x-intercept is negative 4. In the next example, we'll go ahead and graph these intercepts and graph the line. So in this one, go ahead and fill in any blanks you may have in your notes. But we start off with the equation 3x plus 5y equals 15. They want us to graph it using these x and y intercepts. So it looks like we're starting with the x-intercepts here first, because I can see they put in a 0 for y. And of course, what this just goes away now. 5 times 0 is 0, so we end up with 3x equals 15. And then they went ahead and divided both sides by 3. And we get this cancels out. X equals 15 divided by 3, which equals 5. So the x-intercept is 5, or the 0.50. And they went ahead and graphed it right here. Here's 5, 0. X, it's on the x-axis, positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then now we'll solve for the y-intercept, so they let x equal 0. So they put the 0 in for x right here, and of course 3 times 0 is 0, this goes away. We're left with 5y equals 15. And then we'll go ahead and divide by 5. That cancels out there, and we get y equals 15 divided by 5, which is 3. And so the y-intercept is when x equals 0 and y equals 3 right here. And we plot that point, 0 in the x direction. We don't go left or right, but positive 3. So we go up 1, 2, 3 spaces, put our point, and graph your line across through there. That's simple. So the only thing we're doing new in these problems, we're still solving for the x and y intercepts. We're just plotting these points and graphing the line. One more with you. All right, this is going to be our last example together. Then you're going to do the rest of the triads and the practice pages. I'll make sure the sub knows. I'm not sure what the numbers are in your book. All right, so we got the going to graph this using the x and y intercepts. 2x minus 3y equals negative 12. So again, we'll start with the x-intercept. When we're doing x, we let the other thing, let y equal 0. So we're going to plug in a 0 for y there, and it looks like this. And as we've seen, this goes away. 3 times 0 is just 0. We're left with 2x equals negative 12. Then a quick last step, divide by that coefficient, divide by 2. And we get x. The x-intercept is at negative 6. This time the y-intercept, we let x equal 0, the other thing, the other variable. So we end up with, instead of 2 times x, 2 times the 0, replacing x with 0. Just like the other one, 0 goes away, but notice we're left with negative 3y. Make sure you see that sign there. So negative 3y equals negative 12 as well. We divide both sides by negative 3 and end up with y. The y-intercept is at positive 4. Now we'll go ahead and graph those. So our x-intercept was negative 6, which is the ordered pair where x is negative 6 and y is 0. Remember, we substituted 0 in for y when we're solving for the x-intercept. And so let's see, let's grab a little pencil here. And x is negative 6. So on the x-axis, I'm going negative 6. And then the y is 0, so I don't go up or down. Put me a point here. And then our y-intercept was at positive 4, which is the ordered pair where x is 0 and y is 4. Y is 4. All right, so let's go there. 0 for x. We don't go left or right, but then positive 4 for y. We go up 4 spaces. And then we're going to go ahead and graph a line through that. We'll start here, go that way, and come back here and draw the rest of the line here. And there's our line, graphing the line using the X and Y intercepts. All right. Finish the rest of the work I've left for you, and we'll check them when I get back. Have a good day.